Hey everyone, welcome to the Baked Alaskan. Just here with my vape. I just got home. I've been out all morning. I saw my social worker slash therapist for the first time in like almost 4 months today. And it felt really good. I mean, there was a lot of snot and crying, but that's what happens in therapy. And, if you have a good guide, then it's okay. And I have a good guide. I was really glad to see her and to finally give her that card that I made. I'll try to put a picture up there. It's funny how visiting somebody for therapy brings up things you didn't even think were a problem. Things that you thought you could live with or were no big thing. And then you realize that you're actually suffering because of those things. Because you let those things go. And you might be in a situation where you're not afraid to say something, but you really don't want to hurt the other person's feelings. And, I mean, that's a good place to be. Not wanting to hurt someone is a good place to be. It's just hard when it takes its toll on you, I guess. And how we get out of these situations is not easy. It never is. But we deal. And I'm learning to deal more and more and more and more and more since I got sick. But I still hold so much anger and resentment towards my illness that I'm stuck. And I'm really stuck, you guys. I try to work around it. I try to be positive. But it never really sticks. I go through periods of good mood with my bipolar disorder, and the minute I become depressed, it all falls apart again. And with bipolar illness, that's what it does. You're never, unless you are on so many drugs that you are drooling. I've been there. I don't want to be there anymore. But also feeling these feelings is destructive. It's frightening to me. I'm afraid of my feelings. And I'm not talking about self-harm or anything like that, or harming anyone. It's not that. It's just that the sound of my own thoughts is not who I am. Those angry natterings in my head are not who I am. It's just not me. But that's who's presenting right now. Is the nattering, angry asshole. And you guys don't see that much. I bring my best foot forward here. I mean, some days I'm off, and believe me, I know that. But when you're dealing with what I'm dealing with, even the off days are not as bad as the bad days. I mean, they're approaching it fast, but they're bearable. What I'm talking about, though, is the bad days. I mean, when I just have no motivation, when I can't do anything, when I feel like I'm letting everyone down, when I feel useless because I don't work and make money. And yet, to take care of me costs so much money because of everything that I need, you know? And that's a big burden for my wife. And consequently, she's in a bad place too. Um, like, we love each other so much. And I'm not worried for us at all. I'm not worried because we're very much in love. After 20 years. 20 effing years, people. And I love that woman more than the rising sun, more than a dawning day. Because I know that I'm going to live it with her. Woo-wee! Just trying to lighten it a little bit. I just know that there are things that even when you love each other, you have to work through, and we're both in a bad place mentally right now. And we are both just trying to keep our heads above water. Her going to work every day, feeling like she feels. I know I've been there, and it's probably the worst feeling you can feel. To know, to be in that much pain from depression, and to look at people and have to smile at them and pretend to be okay and fake it till you make it, which is the shittiest advice ever. I mean, it's just so... what's the word? What am I looking for here? It's just insensitive. I mean, when you suffer with depression, as I know many of you do, you can barely get your day-to-day shit done, much less add on top of that. And when you've got a responsibility like a relationship, and you've got a responsibility to make the money, and, you know, everything else, like, I understand. She's spent. And I'm spent between my MS and my bipolar. When the work is more than you, when you can't take ownership of it, when the control is not in your hands because there's another person involved, this whole game of wellness becomes a whole different ballgame. We rely on each other so much for happiness and for well-being and everything else, as you should when you're married. I'm smoking on some Sensi Star today. You guys want to see what it looks like? Sensi Star. Oh, smells so good. That work? She's beautiful. Although I imagine I'm going to need a nap after this. I smoked a Sensi the other day when I was up in the middle of the night. And, needless to say, I was back in bed, like, 20 minutes later. I think I'm gonna close out here, folks. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just fucking rambling and probably saying things that are way too personal and that nobody wants to hear anyways. So I'm gonna continue to think on it, and maybe I'll come back later and finish this. Cheers, everybody. Be well.